talking about those teams. You played with Mats Sundin. He was like Taylor towards the end of his prime, like the final seasons. What do you remember most of him? Like, what's a memory about Sundin? Because sometimes you hear players talk about these past legends, but being around them, like the 500th goal against Calgary and just everything he accomplished as a Leaf. How was he as a player and as a teammate?
Mats Sundin was the best person, player, teammate that I've ever got a chance to play with. You talk about a guy who represents himself with class, real genuine, really respectful. And to me, as a young guy, my first year in Toronto was 19 years old, and the next oldest guy was 27. And it could have been a really, really difficult environment for me to be in. But Mats Sundin, right from the beginning, was a guy that always made it a priority to make me feel comfortable every day. Always came and talked to me, always asked me how I was doing, was always talking to me about different things that, I could do to make myself comfortable around the boys. And I can't even describe, how much how important that was to me and how much it meant to me as a young kid. And even throughout my playing years, when I did play with him, every year there was a greater amount of respect that was gained for him because of the way he led. This is a guy that led by example with his work ethic, both on and off the ice. And this is a guy that was so passionate about being the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs in the city of Toronto. And, still resonates with me to this day. And most importantly, I wasn't playing in that game for his 500th goal. I was watching from above. But even after that night, he could have went off and celebrated with his friends and with his family, but he made it a priority to celebrate with his teammates. And that was awesome. It was a fun night. We got to celebrate a milestone, and it's too bad the way it ended for Mats. He like I said, he was a guy that lived and breathed blue and white, and the way he was forced out of there to finish his career in Vancouver. Ultimately, that's the business of sports. There's nothing you can do to control that. But I think if there's one thing that Mats would have loved to do and add to his resume was to be a Stanley Cup champion for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which he fell short of a couple times. But I think you ask any player that's played with or against him, they share those same sentiments. And it's fun, I don't text message with him, but, every once in a while we'll run into each other, whether it's at an alumni event or, at the ACC if he's in town and stuff. And just to pick up and just to, remember all those great times that we share with each other, even after he left, because he was still around after he left. Those are the things that you take with you everywhere you go and you never forget.
Yeah, it was definitely a true captain, right, in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
And like he never seemed to be fazed by the Toronto media, right? Because you've seen, for previous players where, high expectations, can you deliver, with all the pressure of the fans and the media and everything, but he didn't seem to be bothered by that at all.
Well, Mats wasn't fazed by that at all. If anything, he embraced it. He loved knowing he was going to be the guy to speak on behalf of the team. He loved the fact that the media paid so much attention to the team because that's a market that you want to be a part of as a hockey player, where you're getting that attention. And Mats was always a guy that was able to calm things down when he needed to be calmed, whether it was in the media or in the room. He was a voice that everybody respected when he talked, and it's really a pleasure to play with guys like that, because you tend to think that, and I wish I would have played with him as I was older, right? Because I think I could have learned more about, his competitive drive and how much he made guys around him better. Where a young guy in the league, you're a little starstruck in the beginning, because, here you are, you're watching this guy, during your younger years. And, I'm so happy for him. He's retired now. He's got to focus his life on his family and living in Sweden. But it's always nice to reminisce about Mats.